I'm sorry. I've got an amazing fiancé. Now, are you jealous? Envious? Why do those who can only look down on others become so ugly? Her once cute face now appeared distorted before me. Not only me, but my sister and her husband also looked down on my husband. My anger reached its peak, surpassing the limit of my patience. My name is Luna. I work at a printing company, and I'm 27 years old. Although I say printing, I'm not operating large machines. I work in the design department. I design various flyers and catalogs while listening to customers' requests. Recently, with the advancement of digitization, the number of prints has decreased, but the design work is still busy and rewarding. Thankfully, I have more customers requesting me specifically. The flyer for the Christmas event we had recently was a big hit. It was so cute, it truly makes me happy to receive such compliments. This job is like a life purpose for me. I thought I would remain single, dedicating my life to work until one day my father was hospitalized for appendicitis. On a visit to see him, a young doctor named James approached me and asked, "Hello, are you here to visit someone?" It turns out he is my current boyfriend and recently became my fiancé. You never know when and where life will bring unexpected encounters. Despite being devoted to work, as soon as the marriage was brought up, I found myself buying wedding magazines. I guess I'm also getting carried away, sitting in the living room, flipping through a magazine while having tea. Then it happened. A hand suddenly reached out, and the magazine was snatched away. Hey, wait a minute. What's this? A wedding magazine? Why are you looking at something like this? It has nothing to do with you, Mary, I replied. Suddenly, my younger sister Mary took the magazine from me. You getting married? Seriously. Look in the mirror first, will you? You should know your place. You don't even have a boyfriend, let alone getting married. On the other hand, I've never been without a boyfriend. Oh, speaking of which, my current boyfriend. Even though no one asked, my sister began bragging about her boyfriend. She has always been like this. Unlike me with my plain face, my sister has a very cute face. She has always been popular. The people around her always indulge her. Except for our parents and me, everyone around her is always a yes man. As a result, my sister started thinking of herself as the center of the world. The arrogant sister I grew up with began looking down on me. Stay away from me. Your face might rub off on me. No matter how much you study with that brain of yours, you won't catch up. Why don't you give up on pointless efforts? Oh, I got asked out again. It's so tough being popular. I envy my sister who doesn't get any attention at all. She would continue saying such things even if our parents scolded her severely. It was already too late. Her personality remained unchanged, and the verbal abuse towards me never stopped. Growing up, my sister now refers to me as you. Tired of my sister bragging about her boyfriend, I sighed and mustered up the courage to speak. I do have a boyfriend. In fact, we're engaged. We're getting married soon, so I'm looking at wedding magazines. My sister's movements abruptly stopped at those words. After staring at me intently, she smirked with a sarcastic smile. Oh, really? So you managed to find a curious man. What's so great about you anyway? He likes my energetic and cheerful personality, I said. That's a lie. You're probably just being treated like a maid. I'll continue working, and he understands that I can't be a perfect housewife. As I said that, my sister exaggeratedly acted surprised. Huh, you're getting married and still planning to work. How pitiful, marrying a poor man. Her words struck a nerve. She just can't stop looking down on me. Money is not an issue. He's a doctor, so there's no problem with income. I just want to continue working. As I retorted, my sister fell silent immediately. I sighed with relief and returned to my room. "Oh, doctor, I see." Little did I know that my sister muttered those words with a meaningful tone. When marriage is on the table, the first thing to do is to meet with our parents. First, James came to my house. After greeting my parents, the relaxed atmosphere instantly changed the moment my sister appeared. "Oh, is that the person you're engaged to? Quite handsome, isn't he? Mary, weren't you out?" Of course, when my sister's fiancé is coming, I have to cancel my plans. Unbeknownst to her, I was relieved that she wasn't there by chance. It was because I had a bad feeling about it. It has happened several times in the past. When I was still a student, my sister stole my boyfriend. After becoming a working adult, I didn't have a boyfriend, and my sister kept making one after another, so such a thing didn't occur again. Although I felt uneasy about my sister coming back, she had grown up as well. I wanted to believe that she wouldn't do something like stealing my fiancé. My sister was oddly close to my fiancé. I couldn't help but notice a blush on James's, my fiancé's, cheeks. My bad feeling hit the mark perfectly. Can we pretend that engagement never happened? I've decided to break up with you and start dating Mary. I never thought that even as a working adult, I would have my boyfriend stolen by my sister. I'm sorry I took your fiancé, but it can't be helped, right? After all, I'm cuter and more charming, and James's pursuit was so intense. Oh, being cute is such a crime. My sister's words, which were far from an apology, and her condescending attitude next to her, James, who was once my fiancé, laughed and said, "Seriously, who would have known that you had such a cute sister?" If I had known, I wouldn't have gotten engaged to you. It's a good thing we're breaking up before getting married. The moment I saw that twisted smile on his face, any feelings I had for him vanished without a trace. All that remained was a sense of disgust. I'm glad I didn't marry someone like you, a man who easily moves on to another woman. Here, take Mary as a parting gift. You're just a sore loser. Seriously, you're not attractive at all, even until the end. I'm not saying this out of spite, but I genuinely mean it. It seems that the two of them, lost in their own delusions, don't understand how I feel. It's a waste of time being involved with you two. Goodbye. You're just making excuses for losing. You're the waste of time here. I never want to see you again. Goodbye. They left, looking down on me until the very end. After that, due to my enraged parents, they were banned from seeing our family, so I never met them again. However, I heard through rumors that they got married, but I don't really care anymore. 3 years had passed since I parted ways with my sister and her husband, and I turned 30 while diligently working as ever. In the midst of it, there was one customer who took a liking to my work and became a repetitive client. His name was William. As we talked during work, for some reason, he asked me out for a meal. Then he asked me out on a date. On one of our dates, he asked me to be in a relationship with him. Honestly, I was really happy. William seemed very sincere, and I believed he wouldn't do the same as my previous boyfriend. But deep down, my sister had become quite a trauma for me. Maybe, just maybe, somewhere it bothered me a little. So I decided to be honest and told him about my sister and about my former fiancé. I even showed him a picture of my sister and looked at his reaction. But even after seeing the picture of my sister, his expression didn't change at all. He casually glanced away from the photo and gave me a gentle smile. I know it might sound strange to say this, but I used to be quite popular. I've met many women who were cuter and more beautiful than your sister. But for some reason, none of them sparked my interest. I used to think that maybe I would remain single and unmarried for the rest of my life, but that wasn't the case. What do you mean? I believe that due to my line of work, I have an eye for people. No matter how beautiful someone is or how well-dressed they can't match their inner beauty. I realized that when I met you, Luna. What do you mean? I thought you were shining brightly. Huh. When we talk about work, you're vibrant and beautiful. I thought you were wonderful. Not just during work, but when we are having a meal or going on a date, you always smile and enjoy our time together. I could tell that you genuinely enjoy our time together and that you're truly enjoying life. And I thought you were dazzlingly beautiful. What? What? Wait, this is so embarrassing. In my flustered state, William continued, Luna, you're beautiful. More beautiful and charming than anyone else. I've never met a more wonderful woman than you. Please consider being in a relationship with me, with marriage as a possibility. I had truly, from the bottom of my heart, stop. It's too embarrassing. I can't take it any more. I blushed and tried to stop him, but William's words didn't cease. In the end, even after agreeing to date, he wouldn't stop showering me with such words for a while. So embarrassing. 1 year later, William and I got married, becoming a happily married couple. Our newlywed life was going well, and I felt like we became even closer than before we got married. We shared household chores whenever we could. Since my husband had been living alone for a long time, he might be better at housework than me. His homemade meals when I was tired were incredibly delicious. On our days off, we often went out together. One day, on a day off when he said he wanted to look at furniture, something happened. It was the reunion with the devil that felt like a nightmare. Oh well, I thought I saw a plain-looking woman. It's you. I heard a voice from behind as I was looking at the bedding section. I didn't need to see her face to know who it was. Even though it had been 4 years since we last met, there was no way I could forget her. Mary, my sister, was standing there, and next to her was my former fiancé, James. My sister's facial features seemed sharper than before. Is it because of her age, or has her personality come to the front? Standing beside her, James also had a smirk, but it seemed like he had lost weight. Meeting you here. Huh. What are you doing? Nothing special. I just came to look at furniture. This place has a lot of imported goods and is expensive, you know. It's not a place for someone like you. I'm tired of my sister's condescending attitude. James stood beside her. Exactly. If someone like you keeps coming and going, it will lower the store's value. We might be mistaken for being poor too. Just go home already. I felt irritated by their rude remarks, but it's a waste of time to engage with them. I maintained my silence. However, it seems that my attitude didn't sit well with them as the voices of my sister and her husband grew louder. Ah, I hate it. Our precious high-end store is ruined. Why would such poor people come here? They can't afford anything anyway. That's right, that's right. Poor people go home. Other customers and store employees glanced at us as if wondering what was going on. Fed up, I took my husband's hand and tried to leave, but he didn't move. Finally, realizing my husband's presence, my sister and her husband looked at him. Oh, what are you to her? Luna's husband. My sister's eyes widened. Huh? Can you marry this plain girl? Seriously, you're brave. Did you need a housemate or something? That's hilarious. I'd also do housework. It's only natural since we both work. I'm living comfortably as a full-time housewife. More than half of my week is spent eating out. I have money, so I rely on housekeeping services. Sorry for being part of the winning team. My sister spoke with a sarcastic tone, stretching her words, which made me angry. I'm getting increasingly frustrated. My sister is grinning at me. Sorry I stole your wonderful fiancé. Thanks to that, you'll have a poor life even after marriage, right? And to top it off, you're marrying such a plain guy. You two are a perfect match, both plain and unremarkable. Aren't you envious of my happiness? Jealous, aren't you? Aha. Marrying a man who can't support his wife is just like you. You'll struggle for the rest of your life. Losers. I had reached my limit. I could bear it when they spoke ill of me, but to speak ill of my husband as well? There was no way I could tolerate it. Listen, that's enough. Luna, it's fine. At the moment when I thought about yelling, my husband stepped forward in front of me. Nice to meet you. I'm William, the one who married your sister. What a lame name. Well, I understand. Here's my business card since we met. As James took the offered business card, my husband glanced at my sister-in-law. You say really mean things to Luna, don't you? Because they're true. I'm just abiding by the law that says I can call an ugly woman ugly. That's my law. Such a law doesn't exist, and for me, you're much uglier than you think. What? Let's say it's the ugliness of your character. You seem to have confidence in your appearance, but you don't realize that your twisted personality, which can only look down on others, is reflected on the outside. While that tone was polite, the words were quite harsh. My sister's face quickly turned bright red. Don't mess with me. How am I ugly? Everything about you is. In the first place, beautiful people don't envy their sisters and steal their fiancés. What? When did I envy my sister? People aspire to get close to and surpass their admired figures. Isn't Luna such a figure for you? That's ridiculous. I was surprised not just by my husband's words, but also by my sister's reaction. I had never considered it that way before. My sister had always looked down on me, but seeing her unsettled, I started to wonder if there was a possibility. If it's someone who doesn't matter, someone you don't care about, you can just ignore them. Even if Luna brings any kind of partner, you shouldn't have thought of taking them away. After all, they are not someone you found yourself. Taking someone else's position stems from jealousy towards something you can't obtain no matter how hard you try. I'm saying I'm not jealous. By taking something away, you want to have that confidence that you are superior to the other person, right? In other words, you lack confidence. Confident people can live proudly without doing such things. That's not true. My sister desperately refuted my husband's words, but her voice gradually lost its strength. Hage's name. Breaking the momentary silence, James shouted loudly with a pale face. She alternated between looking at the business card and her husband's face, then shook her shoulder. What is it now? This name. I felt like I recognized it, so I looked it up. And, William Brown. So what? The hospital where I work. Hospital. If I remember correctly, it's Brown Medical Corporation. A chairman and director, Dr. Brown. He's their son. What? It's a common surname, so it must be someone else, right? I've seen him come to the hospital a few times together with the chairman. I saw them from a distance, so I didn't remember it well, but when I thought I had seen him somewhere, he's supposed to be a doctor, right? The company name on that business card, the company name. It doesn't mean that a doctor's son has to become a doctor. And this company, it's a super famous pharmaceutical company. I think the previous generation retired, and the grandson took over. Hello, I'm that grandson. Mary and James panicked, and my husband bowed. What? What did you say? Mary and James were pale. and my husband calmly explained, I met Luna through the work I was doing until I took over my grandfather's job. I've heard about you, but it's beyond imagination how cruel you are. Well. My husband shifted his gaze from my speechless sister to James. A job of helping people requires empathy, but instead of showing empathy, you look down on and ridicule others. Who would want to be treated by a doctor like that? Well, it's just a misunderstanding, James tried to explain with a pale face. However, in the next moment, my husband's eyes widened with anger. No need for excuses. I'll let my father know about you. Just wait for the consequences. No, please. James slumped in disappointment while my sister remained stunned. We turned our backs to the two of them and left. We will probably never see them again. With that thought in my heart, I continued walking without looking back. What happened after that? My sister's husband James didn't get fired, but he faced a significant pay cut and was removed from responsible tasks. Apparently, he had been displaying an arrogant attitude toward others and had a cool demeanor towards patients, which eventually led to cold stares from everyone around him. It became a precarious situation, and in the end, he quit as if running away. Rumors spread within the hospital community, making it difficult for him to find another job, and he struggled with unemployment. As for my sister, what did she do? It was revealed that my sister had always been reckless with money, and even with a high salary, her life was quite challenging. That's why James became thin. Rather than saying he became thin, he looked emaciated. In response to James' pay cut, my sister quickly decided to divorce him. If James is no good, she can find another man. That seems to be her thinking. But things don't always go as planned. My husband mentioned it, and I also thought the same. When we met again, my sister's face, which was once cute, had become harsher. It might be that her true character had come to the surface. Perhaps as a result, my sister's prime time for romantic relationships came to an end. Nobody wanted to be with her. That's what our parents told me when they called. According to my sister, I'm so cute, so why won't anyone spoil me? And furthermore, she managed to catch a good man. I should surpass her. By she means me. I wonder if it's some kind of law in her country that she has to surpass me. My sister actually admired me. That's what my husband said, and it might actually be true. However, that doesn't mean I can forgive her actions. In the end, my sister, who was rejected even by her parents when she sought their help, faced the consequences of her own actions and disappeared into the nightlife. We don't know what happened to her afterward. I'm sure I won't hear her name again in the future. On the other hand, freed from the curse of my sister and her husband, I enjoyed peaceful days. A calm married life, a fulfilling job that gets me passionate. Every day was fulfilling. And soon we will become a family of 3. As I gazed at the computer monitor, I gently rubbed my growing belly.